Well, I've just recovered from yesterday's news that we're going to be getting a Fallout from Obsidian. I don't really know how good that's going to be, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. Josh Sawyer did a good job putting together New Vegas on a short time frame. Yes, there are still people at Obsidian who worked on New Vegas, but they've also, in the last intervening 15 or 16 years, made some of the most questionable games I've seen or played. Um, the most recent disaster being Avowed. Pretty bad game. But, I mean, there's the rumor mill that they've been working on a Fallout clone kind of a game because they weren't allowed to work on Fallout. I just don't know how well they're going to do without Chris Avellone. The man is the zip tie that holds the whole system together. He really did make really good content with the DLCs from New Vegas and stuff like that. And he's kind of an overall visionary that really knows what he's talking about. I mean, he wrote the Fallout Bible, for Christ's sake. He's the guy. I mean, if they don't get him back, how far are they taking this? But realistically, we can be cautiously optimistic because you still have Josh Sawyer. He did lead New Vegas. He really did do his job. He did a really good job in a short time frame. Maybe if they get a little bit more time, they might be able to put something good together, but I don't really have a lot of faith in the people who actually work in the lower ranks of Obsidian to put together a faithful adaptation of the Fallout story continuing. They've clearly not been very good visionaries for a while now. I mean, the only game I don't hear complaints about from Obsidian is Grounded, and it's about as milquetoast and family-friendly a game as you can get. Everything else in the last 15 or 16 years, Pillars of Eternity, people like that. I didn't, but I don't like fantasy games, so that's just a me problem. But, hey, as long as they keep it out of New Vegas so it doesn't turn into, Tatooine for the Fallout universe, or as long as they can continue a story along somewhere different. I mean, I know the show's going to Colorado, but I think a Fallout Colorado game would be their best bet because they've already got the lore, the story. They put stuff into Fallout in Colorado. It'd be cool if they could flesh out like how the new plague hit Denver and stuff like that. That would be really cool. I just don't know that they have the writing team available to put together a good story that way. Maybe they do. I hope they do. And I hope that Bethesda is hands off with this. They suck at writing Fallout. Fallout 3 was okay. Fallout 4 is a good sandbox. The story can get interesting, especially in Far Harbor. That was good DLC, but what are you really getting with a Bethesda Fallout? So, and then you're waiting 20 years in between Fallout games when you want to get a Bethesda Fallout. So, it's better to hand it off to somebody else. And at least Obsidian has the experience in it, but I'm still cautiously optimistic because Obsidian, well, I mean, I liked The Outer Worlds, for example, just a little bit. Story was okay. It tried to be BioShock a little bit. It tried to be Fallout a little bit, and it tried to be its own thing. And overall, I think that it could have succeeded more if they weren't so concerned with identity politics. I don't want to bring that up, but it's true. I mean, identity politics ruins games. Why were all of the characters either gay or something that broke a social norm? I don't like companions that have to insert themselves so heavily. I want my companions to be add-ons. Like, for example, in the Outer Worlds, I actually did like Vicar Max. I thought his character was fantastic because he kind of reminded me of Arcade Ganon a little bit. Kind of witty, kind of fun to drag along with you just because he'd say the dumbest shit about, the world around you. And his side quest was pretty fun, especially when you're, going and finding that lady on the asteroid and doing the drugs with her. That was fun. That's why I don't hate the Outer Worlds 1. Outer Worlds 2, I watched gameplay videos. I didn't play it because I was like, do I want to waste my time with this? Do I want to waste my space on my hard drive for this? I mean, money's inconsequential. I make more of it every day at work. Whatever. I work hard for it, but it's still just replaceable money. My time isn't replaceable, and that's what these companies need to understand. I would like a game that is 100% worth my time. Why do I still play New Vegas 16 years later? It's still worth my time. Why did I like Red Dead despite a lot of the social commentary in it? Because it's worth my time. It's a fun game. It's got to be fun. It's got to draw me in. It's got to have a story. It needs a story. I mean, I don't know why game developers have just given up on the idea that you have to write a good story. Oh, good gameplay elements. Oh, we've got, great graphics, or, the sound sounds amazing. Put your headphones on. You can hear where the enemies are exactly. And that's great. Please write a fucking story, man. I just want a good story. New Vegas, Swiss cheesed as it is, because it's got holes in it. The story isn't complete, and it's very clear that it's not complete. It's still the most captivating game I've ever played because you are so involved with that story, and that story is so good, and you can attack it from 4 completely different angles any way you want it. If they can bring back the true RPG, where you can be good, evil, in between, you can be a drifter, you can be, the righteous gunslinger, you can be whatever you want in an RPG. If they can bring those elements back and make it feel like you're actually getting those elements fleshed out, that's great. And if Obsidian can do that, this will probably be a good game. But my concern is millennial writing. I'm a millennial, I can call them out. It's my N-word pass. I just do not understand why everything has to be either you're super good or you fail because you're with the evil faction or you choose the evil thing. And even you don't get that much punishment for being evil, like moralistically, because they want to justify the evil too, which if you're going to be an evil character, be an evil character. That's what you want as an RPG. You want the freedom, you want the choice. And I think going forward, we can have that again. We just need to cycle out the people who are currently in development. It seems like Microsoft and Xbox are trying to get rid of a lot of the ideologues, the people who, are making the games not sell. And I'm sure there's a lot of lower level developers who are good at their jobs. They're getting fired too. And I'm kind of worried about H-1B replacements too, because, we all know the stories about the Indian developers and Starfield and the highly pixelated cups and the faces that would crash the game because there was too many layers of uncompressed polygons on it. So we can be a little optimistic. Obsidian's good at turning games around a lot faster than Bethesda. That's something to be kind of thrilled about, but is fast good. And it was when they had an 18-month development cycle for New Vegas, but will it be good now? I don't know. I really don't know if it's going to be good. They need to figure that out. And at the end of the day, it's on Josh Sawyer to put together a game that's going to be worth buying. The creatives, I've heard stories that they're not exactly thrilled to be going back to Fallout. Why? Do you want to keep making crap that's not going to sell and then you can all lose your jobs? Like, they've already axed half your company. Do you want to be axed too? Do you want the whole project to be just shut down? Go ahead, make Avowed 2, see what happens. Well, fortunately, Microsoft put their foot down and they said, we want Fallout because we got this show going on and we're not making the money off of it. And Bethesda, they're going to do what they're going to do. Fallout 5 is going to be a disaster, almost guaranteed. Bethesda just is not good at making Fallout. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know who needs to get knocked over the head with this again and again and again, but Bethesda doesn't know me. They just don't. What do you want me to say about it? You want me to tell you Fallout 4 was good? No. There was good points of Fallout 4. It was a fun gameplay game. I'm tired of gameplay games. I want stories. I want this to be cinema that I interact with in a challenging way. I don't need to be handheld through a game either. Why do I want to be handheld through a game? People in this industry need to understand that you can't just keep focusing on the lowest common denominator. Those people are boring, they buy it once, and they don't promote it through word of mouth. You aren't getting any of the added bonuses that you would get out of having a dedicated fan base that understands the material, likes the material, and actually digs into the material. I mean, go look at TK's Mantis or Oxhorn, see how many views they have on their lore videos. And look how many more they have on their lore videos for New Vegas. I mean, Fallout 3 gets some of those higher view counts too, because Fallout 3 was still pretty good. They really stopped caring though, because they were like, oh, the technology will propel us to the future. You can't write boring stories. You can't write stories where you have no choices. There is almost no RPG elements to Fallout 4. Whereas, Fallout 3, at least you have, like, the choice, You're kind of forced into choices a lot of the time if you want certain companions, or you're forced into certain choices because you want the game to end a certain way, which is cool. That's an RPG. That's what you're supposed to get. Not the same for Fallout 4, and I fear what a Bethesda Fallout is going to look like going forward. 76 is crap. Don't argue with me. It's crap. I've tried playing it several times after people have said, oh, it's good now. It's not good. It sucks. MMO games are supposed to be high fantasy or something like that, or low fantasy or whatever. It doesn't fit the Fallout universe. It feels stupid. It feels like a cash grab because it is. I mean, look how long it took them to actually make money on the game. And now they're making the money, but the only reason they're making the money is because the TV show got the normies in there to buy it. This is just Fallout Fortnite. Don't need it. What we need is the single player game going forward. I don't care if they've got a bunch of mods. Great, mods. People love the mods. Put it in the creation engine. If you're Obsidian and you're listening to this, put that in the creation engine. Don't use Unreal. Unreal looks good. Creation engine, people work with. People make mods of. And the mods are part of your advertising because people really like the mods. I'm not a big mod guy. I know a lot of people who are. The creation engine really does make for good mods. And if Xbox wants to make a few extra bucks on the microtransactions, I have a problem with that to a certain extent, but at the same time, I understand if you have the choice to have a good base game, you get your couple of DLCs you have to buy, it's fine. I don't mind that at all. I would like to pay the developers for their time and efforts. I don't really care about mods, so I'm not going to be buying mods. It's not my thing. I know people who will, though. And there's going to be free mods, too. It's just how it works. So you could reasonably put together a good game. Got to bring Chris Avalone back. Just bring Chris back. He is going to make you a mint. And you need to just keep the personal politics out of it. I don't care if it's left or right. Keep the personal politics out of it. We don't need another DEI type disaster kind of a game because no one actually likes that. There are an internet subculture who likes that. They mostly inhabit Reddit and Blue Sky. And then you also don't need to make the chud game either, where, you know, you have overtly genocidal people who want to live out their fantasy through your game. You don't need that either. What you need is something that you can make the choices that get you there. But you don't need all your characters to be there. You don't need characters that are overly edgy just for the sake of being edgy. I don't know why that needs to be said, but it needs to be said because developers don't know how to put things together anymore. If you want edgy, just go play Warhammer. Go play Helldivers. That's fun edgy. But you don't really need to put that in a Fallout game. And you don't need to put, transgender whatever in a Fallout game. It's the post-apocalypse. No one's working on that in the post-apocalypse. And guarantee there ain't going to be very many gay people in the post-apocalypse either. They're about, 5% of the population now? Imagine what we're going to be like in a survival scenario. It's highly unrealistic. And it's a fantasy game, obviously, yes. Everything about it's unrealistic. There's a level of immersion you still need, though. And having these overtly gay characters or overtly edgelord characters for the sake of, their personal wants and needs. Personal wants and needs in the post-apocalypse are, holy shit, I'm starving to death and I haven't had water in 3 days and I'm about to go into a seizure. Oh, and by the way, I've got cancer hanging off my ass right now because I sat in a pool of water that was radioactive. That's what a post-apocalyptic game should feel like. Yes, you can say New Vegas is post-apocalypse, as in society's rebuilding. That's probably one of the things I like the most about New Vegas, and Fallout 2 to a certain extent, because you go to New Reno, you feel like society's coming back. You go to New Vegas, you feel like society is rebuilding, especially through the NCR. You've got Mr. House's vision for the future and humanity's best interest. And now that's cool. I like that. What are we getting, though, with this new Fallout from Obsidian? Are we going to get a fair and balanced, you can make choices kind of a story? Are we going to get 3 factions, 4 factions, 5 factions? We have to pick one, run through the whole game with. Like a lot of people will shit on Yes Man, for example, as a faction, but hey, if you've exhausted, if it's your first playthrough, you've exhausted all the other factions because you decided to be a murder goblin, then yeah, you have to be a Yes Man faction, which, hey, it forces you to finish the game at least. Better than locking you out from the rest of the quest. That was a good idea, especially for your first playthrough. You don't know what's going on. You might think that, I don't like the NCR, and you start blasting them away, and then all of a sudden, you realize you also don't like Caesar. But then you killed House too because you started the Caesar quest, and then you realize, maybe I don't like the Legion. Well, then your playthrough is going to force you down the path of Yes Man. I think that's a good idea because, again, it doesn't let you stall out the game. Keeps you moving, keeps the momentum going, and it lets you still experience the game, how it was meant to be experienced. I hope that they give you freedom of choice, and I hope that the choices are at least something that you can glom onto. People want to cosplay because that also adds to the mystique. People will want to get involved. If I go to a Fallout celebration in Good Springs, I hope that there will be lots of people cosplaying for the new Fallout game from Obsidian. That would be great. We, as a Fallout community, have just been starving for something good. And a lot of people have substituted something good with 76, for example. The only reason that 76 is anywhere near remotely successful is there are people just starving for fun. They're starving for a little bit of entertainment. And Bethesda has not delivered. They do a couple updates to Fallout 4. No one wants to play Fallout 4. I don't know. Do I have to grab Todd Howard by the ears and just scream at him, no one wants to play 4 anymore? No one liked Starfield. And the people who did like Starfield, it was people like me who enjoyed the NASA punk aesthetic. I still didn't really like Starfield. I enjoyed the space motif. I liked the realism to it in that regard. Just a husk of a game, though. I can't say that many good things about it. I just like space games, and I don't like Dead Space or anything like that. I like exploratory space games with the added RPG elements, which was what I was hoping for. And then when I played Starfield, I was just woefully disappointed. Kind of like I was disappointed in The Outer Worlds 1, where I was hoping for the freedom of movement, and you get some freedom of movement, but you don't really get to go lots of places. You get, like 5, 6 locations, plus the DLCs, which the DLCs kind of sucked. What do you want to do? You want to make another Starfield and just call it Fallout? Do you want procedurally generated Fallout? No, you don't want that. So, yeah, it's best if Bethesda is told not to touch it for a while. They can go finish Elder Scrolls 6. I'll play that. I don't have a lot of hope that it's going to be good because they spent too long monkeying around with it. That's just, I don't know. Bethesda just went downhill. They became the Reddit company. The Reddification of Bethesda has been very palpable. Indiana Jones sucked. It felt like it was written for Reddit. Wolfenstein sucks now. The last time I had a lot of fun with it was Old Blood. Old Blood kicked ass. That was a fun game. Doom has at least been okay. You get to blow up demons. Pretty fun. But don't conflate fun gameplay as a studio is going to be back. As a studio is going to be producing good stuff from here on out. Good gameplay is one thing. I can find lots of stuff with good gameplay that still has the shittiest story. You need a story. You need entertainment. These games are supposed to take you out of the world we inhabit right here and take you to a fantasy world in which you have choices. You can live out your own fantasy of what the post-apocalypse is like, or what you'd be like as a knight in a magical realm, like in Skyrim or Oblivion or anything like that. But we haven't had that for a while. I mean, thank God that they haven't done anything with the Elder Scrolls, really, other than ESO. Because did you really want an Elder Scrolls game made between 2017 and 2024? No, that would have just been a disaster, and it would probably have put the entire franchise on ice for about 20 years. I mean, yeah, we're going 20 years in between new games, but I mean, truly on ice. Like, it would have absolutely been a disaster for Bethesda. Let's just see what Xbox does going forward. I hope that they open up Fallout to other studios. I would love a Fallout 1 and 2 remake. Even if they kept them isometric, I would just like updated visuals, smoother gameplay, a system that makes a little bit more sense. I'm not a tabletop gamer. I've never been. I don't really care for tabletop RPGs. I find them to be boring. However, I know why people have fun with them. I'm not going to go knock somebody for playing them. I think that's probably part of what stifles people actually getting into Fallout 1 and 2 and tactics is you have to play tabletop style. I think that another studio could come in, someone that Microsoft owns, and just revamp the games, kind of like, I can't even think of any games off the top of my head right now. Again, I'm not a big fan of those type of games, but an updated Fallout 1 and 2, and even tactics would be a smart financial decision on Microsoft's part, especially because they have the show going. Say what you will about the show, it's making money. It's It's making a lot of money, and it's getting a lot of people to get eyeballs on Fallout. If those eyeballs stay on Fallout, you need to release other stuff than the show. You need to have games. You need to have games that are worth playing, and you need to have games that are absolutely true to form. You know that people have an expectation for Fallout, and the normies don't really have that expectation. They just kind of want it to look like the TV show. Use the visuals. People understand visuals. People are visual, you know. But at the end of the day, we do need good games to come out. We as the fans, need good games to come out. There is a lot of problems in the gaming industry, clearly. But those problems can be solved. And I think that Microsoft and Xbox specifically are doing their best to at least get the ball rolling. And if this Fallout game sucks, then I'm just going to say it sucks. I think Fallout 4 sucks, but I still play it. Just not that heavily. That's, I can play modded out. That's the only time I like mods is when I'm playing Fallout 4. I actually really like the base game of New Vegas. And weirdly enough, a little controversial, I like the base game of Fallout 3. I cannot wait for the remake because I hope that it's everything it was supposed to be. I hope they keep everything the same otherwise, like story-wise, the voice acting. I don't want them to redo all the voice acting and all that. I would just like new visuals and better gunplay, because that is genuinely the worst part of Fallout 3. And the story's a little too linear, a little too flat. The characters are very... This is the game that you're playing. Fit in the box, please. You have two choices. It's a Fallout 3 for you. But it's still a decent game. I enjoy it. I enjoy the visuals. I would just like them to be updated with good graphics. I don't want to look at something and go, was this made in 2003? I'm 35 years old. I remember what games looked like in 2003 because I bought them when they were new, and I was like, wow, these graphics suck. I thought Medal of Honor looked like shit in 1999 when I was 8 years old. I didn't think games started looking good personally until Call of Duty World at War came out. That was the first game I played, and I was like, wow, they finally did something. I would say maybe even like Robotech Battlecry. At least they did like the anime art style, and it made it at least fit the feeling of Robotech, and it made it really good. That was another game I can think of where they got the graphics right, they got the feel right early on. That was 2002. But I just feel like that the games industry needs a win. I don't know if they can pull it off. I hope that they can. There's some serious concern about the viability of the industry going forward if they do not get some wins soon. AAA is dead. I mean, everyone said it. It's true. AAA is dead. And I think that a good Fallout game, Elder Scrolls being a success, some remasters, some true remakes, in fact, of New Vegas and 3 would be a huge boost because people love those games. People buy those games. And that's a reason to keep Game Pass around if you play Xbox. So just understanding that on its face, I think that they can be successful. They need to understand this. They need to produce it. They need to flesh out a good idea. But I hope that they understand what a good idea is. I hope that they understand what people want. People have been shouting from the rooftops for 16 years. When's Fallout New Vegas 2 coming out? And I don't want a New Vegas 2. I just want another Obsidian Fallout with the developers who made the original franchise. Tim Kaine. It's a good baseline. I mean, he's the original honcho over there. Josh Sawyer did a great job making New Vegas, like I've said before. I mean, even when they made 3, they did a really good job on 3. I think that it would not have had a success if it was a shitty game. And even 4, to a certain extent, there's good parts of 4. But I think the gameplay is what people are after in 4, and it's not the story. I mean, look what everyone makes fun of. Everyone makes fun of Preston Garvey because, you know, he's sending you to another settlement. You're not getting anything out of that. You're getting experience points because it's a grind quest kind of a game. I wish every quest had a purpose. I wish there wasn't just residual things to do to fill your time. That's not the point of an RPG. An RPG should be, you're fleshing out a story for yourself. You're forging something. You're pushing forward with something. And it's going to be in a somewhat realistic manner because it's a story that you are kind of telling for yourself. So anyway, I rambled on for a while. I just wanted to talk about what's coming up. Hope it's good. I really hope Obsidian knows what they're doing. And I hope that they keep the people from Avowed the fuck away from it. Alright, well, I'll talk to you guys later. I just kind of wanted to post a video about this.